Yeah, real quick, y'all. I want to jump on here and I wanted to put two and two together if something y'all haven't noticed. Y'all want to know why there ain't a big uproar about these Epstein files, right? Because it's regular degular to them, man. So on these next three videos, I'm finna go over a few cases that show y'all that this Epstein thing is just a walk in the park. And ain't no outrage. And I don't understand why people's making such a big deal of it. I mean, a lot of black people in the B1 space ain't. But I just wanted to point this out in case people didn't know. So I'm gonna have to break these ones down old school. It says former Ogden police officer sentenced to 30 days on felony counts, outlining touchy-feely misdeeds. Let's get into it. It says a former Ogden police officer and a school resource officer received a suspension prison sentence, but most must serve 30 days in jail, stemming from a three felony count outing and misdeeds involving a minor. So he gets a suspended sentence for touching and feeling on the shorties. A suspended sentence. Nah, you ain't got to do that sentence, cuz. Nah, you don't really got to do that. Nah, we ain't even gonna let you ruin. We don't want you to ruin your life like that. You got so much to look forward to, right? But it goes on to say, Judge Catherine Corkland acknowledged that Colton Scott Johansson, 56, was a very decorated and respected law enforcement officer. Oh, did I mention that he was a law enforcement officer? Did I mention that he was a law enforcement officer? We're going to get to the picture in just a minute. Matter of fact, I just want y'all to look at him real quick right now. Hold on. I'm going to just go ahead. I'm gonna duplicate that real quick. I'm gonna duplicate that real quick. And I'm gonna pull this one just right on up to the picture so y'all can see who I'm talking about. I also want y'all to see what the judge looked like too, but it looks like they took the judge out this article. But we might have to go ahead and pull her up. However, it goes on to say um, she think he's a declarated respected law enforcement officer. Look at the lionization of a person who is accused and convicted of such a heinous crime. This is a female judge here, y'all. Catherine Conklin is a female judge allowing Colton Scott, a 56-year-old YT man, to get off light, and I mean light, based off what y'all finna hear, light when it comes to touch and feeling on them babies. It says, however, she said he needs to face consequences for the horrendous act outlined in one of the criminal counts to serve as a deterrent to other would-be offenders, to send a message that even those with otherwise solid records are accountable for their actions. Johannes stated that the law enforcement career of that his law enforcement career in 1994 at Weber County Sheriff's Office, and then he moved to Ogden Police Department in 2002. And I would like to assume that he got into it at the other police department because they never get fired; they only get transferred and moved. So we could only assume what happened at the other one. But here he go. He ended up at the Ogden Police Department in 2002, where he served until his last year in this case. He had been serving as a school resource officer at Ogden High School when he was arrested. Why is it that the touchy-feely people always got a position around cheering? And how come white tea people are never suspected of touching cheering, but they always touch and cheering? Does that mean it's a culture of touch and cheering and everybody just know about it? It goes on to say Johansson pleaded guilty on December 4th to 2 counts of attempted actual exploitation of a minor for viewing or possession of or pornography in 2024, an account of forcibly actual abuse all second count degree of felonies. Why is they all second? Shouldn't that be degree in the first? Shouldn't touching and feeling on the shorty be degree in the first? I'm telling y'all, I'm going somewhere with these 3 videos, man. If y'all made it this far, make sure y'all hit that like. Make sure you subscribe if you have not. And I'm definitely want to know what you're thinking about going forward. But this one right here, from the judge to the prosecutor, on down to the man perpetrating the crime himself, you know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for the outroar and the uproar from said family. But it goes on to say that Cookland sentenced him to 1 to 2 of prison, years of prison on each counts, suspending all but 30 days of that. What? So he got 15 years of prison on each count. And he had 4 counts. Hold on, 4 to 2 counts of attempted. Okay, so he had 4 counts. So that's 60 years. And he get 30 days in jail. What in the white privilege is going on here? Should the judge not be fired? Should the judge not even be practicing law anymore? Because I mean, at this point, she just threw all the law books out the window. It ain't like we ain't seen this before. Y'all remember Cuz who pulled old girl behind the garbage can and got her right and got right off? That was by a male judge. I wouldn't even expect this from a female judge. When has that ever happened to a black person is my question. When has a black person ever been sentenced to 60 years and only got to do 30 days in jail? You don't see nothing wrong with that? You don't find anything suspicious? Nobody did? No water cooler talk at the company meeting, unless it's just the culture. Unless they like, well, we might as well let him off because she thinking the same. Well, I think we should be looking at the judge. Because it seems to me, just like in these other cases, when you got these judges letting these people off for these heinous crimes, they got a little itchy scratch in their background too. Is she sympathizing and empathizing, or is this a part of the culture? Is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. So not only is it's from the top down. It says Corcoran gave Johnson 2 days credit for time served and said that he was eligible for credit for good behavior so he don't even got to do the 30 days. After the jail time, he has to serve 60 days of home confinement and also placed him on probation for 4 years. Man, so you telling me that you get to touch and feel on the shorties? You get 60 years. You get 30 days with the whole whatever that is stayed. Credit for the 2 days of your inconvenience in jail, because it was such an inconvenience that you had to go to jail for 2 days. And then why you only in jail for 2 days for that kind of crime? You bonded out? Well, wouldn't you be like a danger to society or something like that? What? Then you get the 4 years probation. Come on, fam. Come on. So was this the plea deal of the century? What did you actually plead to? How did you get this sweetheart deal? And this shows you ain't got to have no paper to get off. All you got to do is have the complexion for the protection, and you're Gucci. That's it. It goes on to say, and this is a real short read, y'all. It says Davis County Sheriff's Office officials arrested Johnson on October 23rd last year after authorities learned that he had child X abuse material evidence in criminal cases stored in his Huntsville home. They disclosed the presence of the material at his home during a polygraph exam, inventing for another law enforcement job. Oh, so he was going for another law enforcement job. They happened to ask him some questions about this, maybe perhaps because they knew, and they caught him up. It took y'all that long to figure it out, and y'all caught him on something totally totally unrelated. Jeez. It says as well as a sexual act involving an infant in 1994 when he was 24, which led to forcible sexual abuse charge. Well, wait a minute. Wait, y'all. I said this about the other job, and that's probably why he left. But my thing is, how do you have this kind of charge coming from being a police officer to go on to be another police officer? How does this work, y'all? Wow. It goes on to say Randy Watt, a former chief of Ogden Police Department, testified on Johannesburg's behalf prior to sentence. Johannesburg assisted a task force that the investigation the X crimes, according to Watt, and no officer was willing to store X crime abuse material evidence, leading Johans to ultimately put it in boxes in the garage in his Huntsville home. So you got the folks in the department splaining. The former police chief, I wonder what he had going on. They show not telling you why he got marked out. But he testifying this boy, oh man, he just, it was just overflowed at work. And nobody else wanted to do it, so he just put it at the crib for safekeeping to make sure the stuff was all right, that it didn't fall into the wrong hand. Are you smanerious? Johansson could be trusted with anything we asked him to do, Watt said. And I'm pretty sure, like cover for some of your stuff. Goes on to say Charles Johansson pled say that he viewed or possessed child corn, and on Friday sentencing, Johannes said that he only viewed adult pornography and that had been mixed with the child abuse material that he had stored at his home, and it was a one-time deal. He said, "Boy, you lying. Boy, you know you lying." But last but not least, this is what they want to leave y'all with. And sometimes the last paragraph in the article is most important. It says his arrest, Johannesburg said, had an investigation effect on his life. He lost work and friends and now has money problems and had been kicked out of places. Out of the dismay of the turns of events, he said he's thrown away all but 2 of the 31 awards he received over law enforcement career. I don't know how many times I've been shot at. My whole goal in life was to protect and serve my community, he said. What kind of garbage, poo-poo, doo-doo crap is that? KSL should be ashamed of themselves. They actually left y'all with some uplifting, lionizing, humanizing outlook on a shorty touchy feely person. This is why I tell y'all this Epstein joint is no problem. They do this all day long. It's nothing, right? I ain't gonna hold you, but I'm gonna mold you, fold you, and scold you, and I'm gonna show you about being on code. You know, I got 4 words for you. I need you to go ahead and subscribe for the vibes, like for the spike, comment your vomit, share if you care about getting Black empowerment everywhere. please do that on the platforms that we are on, Jones, and just bring it on home. I got love, peace, blessings, and aloha. I'm out the Doha for Shoha. You already know. You get the